Hey friend, it's been a while since I've updated anyone on what I've been doing, so today you are getting a tour of all the paintings I have hanging around the house. I've had to disappear from social media for a while because I've just been dealing with some pretty heavy shit. And when you've grown up kind of like I have, there is plenty of up shit that you just kind of gotta figure out how to come to terms with. I have a bunch of the paintings hanging in my bedroom, so this is where we're gonna start. First off, we have this one, which is actually one of two. The other one is over here. But I don't particularly like this one as much as the other one. I think it's not as good of an execution, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it. So next up is this one, which this is a painting that I started about, I think maybe 2 years ago at this point. And my sister really likes this, so I think whenever I get around to finishing this, I'm just gonna give it to her because it would mean more to her to have it than it would mean to me to like make a sale from it or whatever. So next up, we have this one, which this is actually one of my favorite paintings. I titled this one, Endlessly We Take the Long Way Round. And this is a painting of a spot I used to love hanging out at, just sitting there drinking coffee and enjoying the silence. It was a really peaceful place. Here is the other one of the pair, and honestly, I like this one a whole lot better. It just feels more technically resolved, I guess, but I titled these guys something pretty stupid that I don't even want to say out loud, so we're just gonna move on. Okay, this one I titled, This Will All Make Sense When I'm Older. Yeah, I know, a little corny and depressing, but that's okay. I had a blast painting this shirt and the reflected light and that plant. That was super fun. This is the first painting that really kind of made me stretch my painting muscles and step outside of my comfort zone. I hadn't really painted anything as complex as this up to that point. At the time I was dealing with a lot of self-doubt, depression, anxiety, etc. And so I titled this Quiet Little Voices. And with that, it kind of kicked off my sort of angsty title tradition. This one here is one of those examples of the idea sounding a lot cooler than the execution actually is. That being said, I do like parts of this painting, and I do have an idea for making it a better painting, but I don't know if I actually have time to do it. And so I might fix this, or I might just end up completely repainting this at a later point in time. Then I have a bunch of like little pieces hanging around down here. This one. I like this one a lot. This one. And then right outside my door in the hallway, there's this piece, which there's not a whole lot to say about this. It's just a painting of a friend that I thought looked cool. And it's a collaboration with my cat because he put a couple of holes in it. You can see one right there. I think there's a couple down here somewhere. But I don't really feel like fixing it, so they're just gonna stay there. This is another one of my favorite pieces. I titled this one, If Only I Could Remember. I had absolutely no idea how I was gonna paint this when I started. I had never painted anything like this before. So there was a lot of trial and error, frustration, and lots of tiny adjustments, but it was super satisfying when it was done. These two here are mostly just experiments. I was playing around with a couple ideas. I don't really have any particular attachment to them. I don't really care about them all that much. But there are aspects about them that I do like that I will probably reuse again in another painting at some point. And then we have this one here, which this one was a lot of fun. I took the photos for this of Rand Casey like almost a decade before I did this painting. And I think back then I kind of intuitively knew that I didn't have the skill to pull it off yet. So it was really exciting when I finally did get to it and painted this. Next up is this one. This one is a painting from a road trip I took with some friends a bunch of years ago now, and it was actually a birthday present for my roommate. And then before we go downstairs, there's this one. This is a landscape that I haven't seen in so long that I almost forgot about it. This is also from the road trip that I did the last painting from, and this ended up being a birthday present for my other roommate. And then down the stairs here we have an Oliver and a few random portraits. Here we have another one of my favorite paintings. I think I finally settled on the title Mother for this, and it's one of those pieces that just kind of came together out of nowhere in an afternoon. Then we get to this one. I titled this one The Forgotten One. I know, it's not angsty at all, right? I made that mask a few years ago out of cardboard and I've been playing with it and it's been popping up in my paintings here and there and I kind of really like the idea of it, so I'm gonna keep working more with it. This one, there's not really a whole lot to say about it. I'm still not really sure what I think about it or how I feel about it, and it's still untitled, and honestly, it'll probably stay that way. This one here, I titled, I'm Not Yours, I'm Mine. So I went through a lot of years of narcissistic abuse, and the expression on her face and her posture, like the way the shoulders are slumped and all of that, and the hands in the pocket and everything, just kind of reminded me of what it felt like when I was extricating myself from those situations. This right here is just a silly little cat painting I made. I don't think it even has a title, but it's my roommate's favorite. This one I called No One Knows She Goes There, and I had a lot of fun painting this hedge here. I mean, it was kind of a nightmare, but at the same time, I don't know, maybe I'm just masochistic or something like that. This is a painting of what was my friend Aiden's living room when I went to visit him like a year or two ago. It was just a really cozy space and I loved the way the light was coming in through the window there, so I painted it. This right here was a painting I did for my roommates after their dog Sawyer passed away last year. And this right here is a painting of their dog Murdoch I did after he passed away. This painting right here was a Christmas present from our roommates a few years ago, and it's my roommate Josh's favorite because it's his cat, Tiberius, just looking out the window. He did not pass away, by the way. And last but not least, we have this here. I think I titled this Once the Weary Traveler, which do with that what you will. I kind of like the peaceful quality that this painting has, and this was another case of like, this was kind of hell to paint, but also kind of fun, because that foliage and, ugh, God, don't even get me started. And if you're curious about these paintings up here behind me, they're a little bit newer and reserved for another video, so you'll just have to stick around for that. And that's all I have for you today. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Thank you for watching all the way to the end, and I'll see you in the next video.